Hello world, Max here again, and today I come with a new challenge, which is the Fibonacci number. It is very similar to solve as it was the factorial number. The approach we use are pretty the same, we just change the formula for finding the number, and let's do it. First, the definition. In mathematics, the Fibonacci number is commonly denoted by Fn, form a sequence, which is called the Fibonacci sequence, in which each number is the sum of the two preceding ones. The sequence commonly starts with 0 and 1, although there's some authors that prefer starting in a different way, but we'll stick to the starting with 0 and 1. So starting from 0 and 1, the first few values is in the sequence are these ones, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So we can check that we have the base cases 0 and 1, and then the next one is the sum of the two preceding ones. So one is 0 plus 1, the next one is 1 plus 1, the next one is 2 plus 1, and then 3 plus 2, which is 5, then 5 plus 3, and so on. So we just want to find the nth number in the sequence. So to find that, we must first find the sequence at least to this number n. So this is our challenge. So first I'll just run the examples and check that I don't have the solution yet because I haven't implemented anything. So Ruby Fibonacci. As expected, everything is new, so we're starting to program our solution right now. Let me clear this first. Okay, so first let's think of our base cases, which is the first and the second position, the position 0 and position 1. So I'll just start initializing an array with 0 and 1. This is position 0 and 1. Okay. I'll try to do an iterative loop. Let's start with 2 because we already have position 0 and 1. So from 2 up to number n, let's call it ni, and we already have position 0 and 1. Let's try to add the next one, the first position of our loop, which is 2. Okay, that's it. We use the I as index. So we just have the definition. The Fibonacci number is the two preceding values. So for a sequence I, we need to get the numbers on the sequence I minus 1 plus the number in the sequence I minus 2. So here we have that for the first time we enter the loop, we have that the value of I is 2. So seq2 is equals to seq1 plus seq0, which we already have in our array. So we expect that seq2 is 1, and so on. So as we have the sequence until number n, we just have to return the sequence. In Ruby you can omit this, the return. So let's check if it's working. Ruby Fibonacci. So you're expected to have 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. That's what we have here. Using a loop, just worked. So similar to what we did on the factorial challenge, let's just remove this and try to solve using a different approach, in a different way. I'm pretty fan of recursive solution. That's what I'll try to do now. So let's do it. For the recursive solution, we also need to think about the base cases. So I'll do something different. I'll just return n if n is lower or equals 1. So if n is 0, we return 0. If n is 1, we return 1. And now we have our base cases. So you now just try to use a recursion. The good thing of having a base case is that it's already ready for the recursive solution, because one of the most important parts, maybe the most important of all, is having base cases, so we don't have an infinite recursion. So yeah, we already have our base case. So let's try just to go through the recursion. We know that Fibo of n is just Fibo of n minus 1 plus Fibo of n minus 2. As we already have our basic cases, if we, for instance, just try to get the Fibo of 2, then we have Fibo of n minus 1 plus Fibo of n minus 2, which is Fibo of 1 and 0. So let's hope that this works. Again, let's clear this. Oops, here will be Fibonacci. Okay, sometimes this happens, don't worry. Okay, again. And here you go, you have the same results, everything is working, and you have a recursive solution. I hope you maybe already know that this could be improved, as we have our recursion and we call it twice inside our function, so this may cause a problem in the future. I'll choose to ignore this right now, and I plan to record another video talking about recursion, and then we'll try to get to this again. But if you already know what the problem should be, please just leave a comment. I appreciate that. But let's get to our last approach of this video. Let me just clear this, and I'll delete our solution. And okay, let's try our last approach in this video, which is using Inject. Last video that I did the factorial challenge, I also used Inject, and Inject is a method in Ruby on Rails. It's also alias for reduce, both work the same way, but I didn't explain what Inject does under the hood. If you just want this, I'll leave the link for the documentation of Ruby about that, you can check. But what I can guarantee is that under the hood, Inject just works as an iteration loop. So we have to believe that it's a very effective one. I like to think that the guys behind Ruby work very hard to make it very effective. So yeah, we just believe that Inject works the best way as possible. But let's try to use that. I'll just return the base cases, return and if n lower equals 1. Another case, I will just use Inject. To use Inject this way, I go from 2 to n. I will also use the base case as a starting point. This is my accumulator, and for my accumulator, I will just sum the previous two numbers of the sequence of my accumulator. As I'm starting it with 0 and 1, I believe that everything will work well. Okay, so now I have the sequence, and I just need to return the nth number of that. Was written correctly, this should work. Okay, we have the same results, and here is our Fibonacci number using Inject, which is a method in Ruby. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this video. As I mentioned, I will leave the links in the comment, and please subscribe to this channel if you want more, and leave a comment if you have any doubt or if you have any suggestion. Thank you everyone, see you, bye bye.